Welcome to my studio. My name's Amber Rust. I am the head photographer and owner of Two Color Photography based out of Brigham City, Utah. I wanted to talk to you today about something that I think every new photographer has gone through, and I hope to be able to save you from making the same mistakes. And I'm going to talk about them based off from experience because I've done each of these things myself, and I look back as my startup self, and I'm not going to say I regret the things I did, but I wished I had done them differently. So if you're just getting into photography, listen to these 5 things and they will hopefully help you to skip past everything that I went through, and you'll be able to start off better off, making maybe a better salary, taking better pictures. Like this video and subscribe to our channel and hit the little notification button so that you can get alerts when our new videos are posted. So I'm just gonna get right started. Number 1 is shooting for free or really, really cheap. And I know in the photography community, it's such a, I don't know, it's such a like a Diet Coke, Diet Pepsi controversy. Some people will say when you're first starting out, shoot for free until you build your portfolio. And some people will say you need to be charging for at least your time. I'm going to say if it's on your terms, you can shoot for free while you're building a portfolio. But as soon as you decide and as soon as clients are contacting you, your portfolio building stage is over and you need to start charging money. My first senior session cost the client $50, and that was 17 years ago. So please do not charge $50 for a session. Your time alone away from your family to take that session, even if it's just an hour, then you have to go back and download your pictures to your computer. And starting out, you're probably not a quick photo editor, so your editing will probably take 5 hours. I know when I did my first sessions, my editing was close to 5 hours long. So we're already at 6 hours where your time is being taken up by photography, by that one session you just shot. So then once you're done with that session, you have to load it or burn a CD or contact the client. So there's another half an hour to an hour between client interactions before the session and after the session. Gas in your car. I drive a big, beautiful Suburban, but it cost me about $75 to fill that beast up with gas. So all of these things, even though you're a starting out photographer, that client trusted you enough to call you and book a session. You at least deserve to be paid for your time and your wear and tear on your gear, and hopefully you have insurance, all of these things. Please do not start out a session for $50. It's really hard to start to slowly increase your cost because that first client is going to say, but a year ago you only charged me $50. Why today are you $250? So starting out, you don't have to start out at $500 for a session, but please don't start out so low that you're just spending all of your time away from your family and not making it worth your time. So that's number 1. The second thing that I wish that I had done differently as a starting out photographer is my inconsistent pricing and even my inconsistent offerings. Like at the end of the day, I know that one client charged $50 and then I was like, well, I don't know this one as well, so I'm gonna pretend like I've been in the business for a while and I'm gonna charge this one $75. But they get together, our clients, they know each other. I live in a really small town and a lot of my clients know each other, they refer each other. So if they get back together later and they said, well, Amber only charged me $50, and they said, well, Amber charged me $75. So I needed to be really consistent. If you charge $150 for a senior session starting out, you need to charge $150 for every senior session until you feel like you can increase your pricing. And then your offering. Sometimes I would give a client a CD, and it would be a CD where you could, this was a long time ago when we burned CDs, and when a CD could fit all of my images on a 6 megapixel camera, but I had a burner that would print an image on the CD. And so one client would get this elaborate CD with their child's image printed on it, and the next client would get just a plain CD with a Sharpie marker on it. And again, they talk. And so the next client says, why didn't I get a fancy CD? And then my reality was I couldn't afford one of those fancy CDs for every client because I wasn't charging enough. So consistency in pricing and consistency in offering is something that I wish I had done better right from the get-go. Number 3 is shooting on auto and taking tons and tons of pictures just to cover myself. We call it spray and pray, where you just snap, snap. And hopefully when you're culling your images, there's one please, you're just praying, please let there be one image that I can give this client from this pose. So the spray and prayers, and I guess there's a time and a place, maybe when a bride and groom is coming down the aisle, but a family session and even a children's session, take the time to set them up, take 1 or 2 good pictures, maybe capture a couple cute smiles. Don't just push down your rapid release button and take 100 images. And then don't give them 100 images. Your client does not have enough wall space in the world for 100 images from the same pose with the same background and the same outfit. And then learn your camera, learn your gear. On our Baby Photo Academy courses, we teach the very basics of aperture, shutter speed, and ISO so that you can start to learn how to move past auto. Auto's great for just starting out, but you need to always be working to improve your craft. Always be working to someday not shoot on auto. The fourth thing that I did that I regret is I agreed to take any session. I remember one time getting a call from Zions Bank, and they had an organization that was helpful to women business owners. And they gave me a call and they said, we'd like to give you a chance to do all of our headshots for the Zions Bank branch in Cache Valley, Utah. And I was so ill-equipped. I didn't have lighting, I didn't have gear high enough for a formal headshot, and I didn't have experience. But I didn't want to say no. So I took on the job. I went, there were big windows with the sun coming at their back, and that's where they wanted their headshots, and everything was just the sun glaring in, backlit, shadowed faces. I did a terrible job. And I probably lost a lot of referrals from that organization that supports women business owners. And I let down a whole, you know, how hard it is to get corporate people in the same room for headshots, and I blew that for them. So learning to know when to say no, learning to say, I don't have the capabilities to take on this session yet, but here's some names of some photographers that will do a good job. And then again, keep continuing your education and keep learning how, so that someday when that call comes, you can say, yep, I will bring my gear so that I can counteract the possibility of having a backlit image, or my gear is such that I can compensate, or I feel confident enough to turn you around and we're gonna shoot this way a little bit. But don't take on every session. You don't need, there's plenty of work to go along. You don't need every session. And the fifth thing is not saying no. It kind of goes back to the other one a little bit, but anything the client wanted, I just did. We want our engagement pictures in a bathtub, and I wish that was not something that somebody had asked me to do. And I wish that I had said no. And they were clothed, I do need to say that, but in the big clawfoot tub, and I said yes. And I'm just going to let your imaginations take that where you want it to go. Is it okay if we shoot at noon? Noon is the only time my daughter is happy. Can we shoot at noon outside? Yes, we can. I said yes to anything because I just wanted all the work I could possibly get. Setting yourself up for failure because you don't dare tell a client no is more damaging to your business than saying, I am not equipped for this right now, or actually noon is the worst type of setting for the sun that we could possibly shoot in. If you want to do this session with me outdoors, we're going to have to do it at 6 o'clock at night. Saying no, but giving them a valid reason why makes you come across confident, knowledgeable. It's okay to say no. Say no politely and say no with a reason. Don't just say no, but give them a reason why. And it's okay to admit that you're not perfect. Say no, I am not equipped for that at this point in my career. So those are the things. And as I looked at all 5 of them, and I tried to in my mind figure out why those were problems, and I think it's every new photographer. I wanted all the jobs I could get. So if I said yes to everything, then I would have lots and lots of clients, and I would be rich and live in my mansion. But the problem with that is saying yes to everything and being ill-equipped and unknowledgeable in a specific type of photography makes you look worse than if you just say no, because then they talk about you in a negative way. Or they tell your friends, we hired so-and-so to do engagement pictures in a tub and she did a terrible job, and then you're getting negative feedback instead of positive feedback. So those are my top 5 mistakes as a beginning photographer that I wish somebody had helped me along and said, don't do that. So I'm here to help you along and say, don't do that. it's not worth it. Stand your ground, be kind, but be confident. Thanks for joining me in my gorgeous studio, and talk to you later.